Claire Sands' My Way audio blog. No, wait, it's not. This is the How Do I Find What I Need episode. Whoop whoop. So, Merry Christmas, griefy peeps. Even though that day has technically passed, it's still the Christmas season to me until at least New Year. Then it's the New Year season, which I celebrate by leaving up my Christmas tree until the last possible tree recycling day. This episode is purely here to help you find out more about what we have available for you via the Silent Why podcast, and to help you locate whatever it is that you might be needing right now from among our previous content. Whether you need help, hope, holly, or ho-ho-hos, we've got it all. Well, maybe not the holly. That's really hard to distribute via a podcast. So a quick overview of what we have on offer currently. And the best news is that it's all completely free content. At this point in time, anyway. First of all, you have all our episodes available wherever you're listening to this podcast now, whether that's a podcast player or our website. So you can always search for keywords to find what you want that way. This might be slightly easier on the website because it will only search our episodes. Podcast players tend to search everybody's episodes. But you can always return to your podcast player after you've found the exact episode you want on the website. Next, as I mentioned, we have our website, thesilentwhy.com. As a very quick overview, before I point out some specific content you might be looking for this time of year, I'll give you a rundown. On the homepage, you'll find links to the very helpful page on how to listen to a podcast. If you need help finding a podcast player, listening on your computer, or using a smart speaker, or what even is a podcast, you can find all that there. There's also a page that explains what a Herman is if you haven't worked that one out yet. What's your Herman is the last question that we ask all our guests. And on the homepage, there's also a form to contact me. Then, on the top menu, we have a link to our podcast page where you can see all our episodes and search for people or topics. We have a blog page where you can search for any subjects and either read that blog post, or at the top of every blog post, there's a link where you can listen to it instead. And you can listen via the website or find the episode on your podcast player by searching for My Why and then the name of the blog. We also have a page called 101 Losses, where you can see what number we're up to on our search to find 101 different types of loss, and you can pick episodes to listen to from there based on topic. There's also a Let's Chat page where you can look at my Let's Chat episodes by topic, and also other podcast episodes that I've sorted by area underneath. Areas like parenting, cancer, infertility, murder, art, baby loss, lots of different areas. Then lastly, we have a page called Our Story, where you can read more about our journey with infertility and childlessness. But what if you're after specific content to help you through this period? Well, I'll run through some episodes that might help if this is a tough time of year for you, and I'll link to them all in the show notes, which for those of you who are still wondering what on earth they are, they're the text that accompanies each podcast episode on your podcast player or the website, and it's different for every episode. Specifically around Christmas, we put out an episode last week, which is me and Chris, and some other familiar voices popping in too, talking about why Christmas can be hard, and what about the season we can draw comfort from. Then we also have the following episodes and blogs which you can search for on your podcast player by the episode title. Something to note, our episode numbers don't tally with the number of episodes that we have out. And that's because the blog episodes are bonus episodes, so we only number the main podcast episodes. Just to confuse you. For example, we currently have 126 episodes published, but we're on episode 60 of the Silent Why main episodes, because the others are all blog posts or announcement episodes. So when we say episode 56, you need to look for the number in the show notes, at the beginning marked with a hashtag, so you know what I'm referencing. The My Why blog posts don't have these. You can find most of the blog posts that I'm going to mention by going to thesilentwhy.com/blog and then clicking on Christmas and New Year, where I've tagged them all so you can find them. Chris and I did a podcast episode last year called That Weird Time Between Loss of an Old Year and the Start of a New Year, chatting about the weird time between Christmas and New Year, exactly where we are now. So if you want to hear that, that's episode 13. Maybe Christmas is something you just can't work out how to be friends with, or it went wrong from what you hoped this year, or you're never really sure how to navigate this season. Pop along to the blog and hear or read Christmas, Friend or Foe. Maybe you're just weary, and the idea of rejoicing this Christmas just felt so far away. Try out A Weary World Rejoices. Maybe you've lost that Christmas feeling. We get you. You need to listen to our podcast episode from last year called Chris's Loss of Christmas Spirit, where we talk about that further between us. That's episode 12. Maybe you're just exhausted right now. Well, you can head over to the blog and read Where's the Rest. Maybe you're just in need for someone to give you some hope in your loss. try out the blog post, What's the Worst Thing About Grief? Maybe December is a confusing month for you. Then you need to hear my Why, The Season of December, that I released recently as part of my blog series where I share what each month of the year is teaching me. Or maybe you need a boost of hope from another month. Why not listen to April, May, July, September and feel the joys of spring, summer or even autumn? Over Christmas last year, Chris and I wanted to offer something every day between Christmas and New Year to help people find the hope they might be struggling to locate. So I recorded 5 Hopelets, and I released them every day, starting on Christmas Day itself. They're only around 4 to 7 minutes long, and you can find them through the blog post, Where's Your Hope At? Or by searching Hopelet on your podcast player. Then I did a blog you can read or listen to on New Year's Eve called No Hope. But that's no as in K-N-O-W, not N-O. And in that I share 11 different no's, K-N-O-W-S, not N-O-S-E, to encourage you as you start another year. So maybe there's something there that you need to hear either again or for the first time. Maybe there are other topics you need to hear about, and I've written many other blogs you can read and listen to, like Permission to Grieve, What is Loss? Living in the Bittersweet, Are You Lonely? Disappointed with Life, Sunshine Doesn't Fix Everything, When Did We All Get So Fearful? And one of my favourites, Meet My Friend, the Moon. You can also check out episode 3 if you want to hear me and Chris chatting more about our personal experiences with loss and childlessness. Although we also reference those in our Christmas and New Year episodes as well, just to give you an idea of where we are with that as an update. Once again, thanks for listening to the Silent Why podcast. It means so much to me and Chris, but specifically me, because this podcast is a labour of love that I feel very passionate about and I work almost full-time on at the moment. As you've heard me say before, it doesn't currently pay anything financially, so I really appreciate the support people give me to help cover the costs of running it, and the occasional Earl Grey. Maybe marzipan. You can join these lovely people by donating, either as a one-off or a regular, through buymeacoffee.com/thesilentwhy. The more this podcast can pay for itself, to at least run, then the more chance there is that I can continue it long into the future, which I certainly want to do. Thanks again for listening. We're going to be back again next year, which is also next week, with a special New Year episode from me and Chris. So I'll see you on the other side, friends. As Benjamin Franklin said, be at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbours, and let every new year find you a better man. I think he means you need to be a better person, not that the new year will find you a better man. And as Unknown said, every year you make a resolution to change yourself. This year, make a resolution to be yourself.